Stop throwing away your money at overpriced home decor stores when everything you need to make something more beautiful is already sitting right in your hands. Think about it. A ball of yarn, a crochet hook, and a few free hours. That's all it takes to turn your home into something that looks like it came straight out of a Pinterest board. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I'm going to walk you through some of the most stunning crochet projects you can actually make at home, from cozy little wall hangings to decorative baskets, table runners, and things that will genuinely make people stop and ask, "Wait, did you make that yourself?" And the answer is going to be yes. But here's the part that trips most people up. They see a beautiful crochet piece and they think it must have taken years of skill, some kind of special talent or equipment they don't have. That's not true at all, and I'm going to break that down piece by piece today. So let's start from the very beginning, because even if you've been crocheting for years, there's a good chance you've been skipping steps that could be making your finished pieces look 10 times better. Let's talk about yarn, because not all yarn is the same, and the yarn you pick will decide almost everything about how your finished piece looks and feels. If you're making home decor, you want to think about weight, texture, and color, but not in the way you might expect. For things like wall hangings or decorative baskets, you want to go with something thick. A chunky or bulky weight yarn is your best friend here. It works up fast, it looks bold and full, and it photographs beautifully. Cotton yarn is especially great for home decor because it holds its shape really well. It doesn't stretch out over time like acrylic can, and it gives your finished pieces that clean, crisp look. Now, if you're going for a bohemian or natural aesthetic, which is super popular right now, you should try macrame rope or jute twine as your yarn. Yes, you can crochet with it. It gives you this raw, earthy texture that looks incredible as a plant hanger, a wall piece, or even as a decorative tray liner. The texture alone tells a whole story. For softer pieces, like blankets or pillow covers, go with something smooth and slightly shiny. A cotton bamboo blend is amazing for this. It drapes beautifully, it's gentle on the eyes, and it makes your finished piece look expensive, even if the yarn itself cost you next to nothing. Let me talk you through one of the most requested home decor crochet projects right now, and that's the Boho wall hanging. You'll start with a wooden dowel rod. You can find these at any hardware or craft store for almost nothing. Cut a piece of yarn about 3 times the length of the wall hanging you want, fold it in half, and use a simple lark's head knot to attach it to the dowel. You're going to repeat this all the way across the dowel until it's full. The more strands you add, the fuller and more lush the finished piece is going to look. Now, here's the part where it gets beautiful. You're going to work a simple, repetitive stitch pattern down the piece. Something like a shell stitch or a simple V-stitch will give you that open, airy look that's everywhere in modern boho decor. If you want something more dense and textured, use a moss stitch or a linen stitch. Both are incredibly easy once you do them a few times, and they create this stunning woven effect that people assume took way more skill than it actually did. Here's a little tip that most beginners don't know. When you're making a wall hanging, intentionally leave some of the strands unworked at the bottom and unravel them with a stiff brush or a pet brush. Brush them out until they're fluffy and soft. That fringe effect is what gives wall hangings that signature bohemian look, and it takes about 5 minutes to do. Now let's talk about baskets, because crochet baskets are honestly one of the most practical and gorgeous things you can make. The trick with baskets is to go up a hook size or 2 from what the yarn label recommends. I know that sounds backwards, but hear me out. When you use a bigger hook with a chunky yarn, the stitches get a little looser, which means the finished basket is more flexible and it holds its shape while still being soft enough to squeeze a little. This is exactly what you want for things like bedroom storage baskets or bathroom counter baskets. Start with a magic ring, or if magic rings still frustrate you, just chain 4 and join into a ring. Work your rounds in single crochet, increasing every few rounds to build out the flat base of the basket. Once the base is the size you want, stop increasing and just keep working in rounds. The sides of the basket will naturally start to rise up. When your basket is as tall as you want, finish with a neat round of slip stitches or a simple picot edge to give it a clean, polished top. Want to make it look even special? Use 2 strands of yarn held together throughout the whole project. You can use 2 shades of the same color for a subtle tonal effect, or go bold and mix 2 completely different colors for something that really stands out on a shelf. Let's move on to table runners, because this one is a game changer for how a dining table looks. A crochet table runner in the right colors can make even the most basic wooden table look styled and intentional. The key is to keep the pattern simple and let the texture do the work. A basic half-double crochet or a waffle stitch table runner looks incredible in a neutral color, like cream, off-white, or a warm sand tone. For the waffle stitch, you're alternating between front post and back post double crochets, and what it creates is this raised, grid-like texture that looks almost like a woven fabric. It's one of those stitches where people will genuinely not believe you made it with just a hook and yarn. And once you get the rhythm of it, it's actually deeply satisfying to work. To size your table runner, measure the length of your table first, then decide how wide you want the runner to be. A typical runner is about 12 to 14 inches wide, but you can go narrower for a more modern look. Add a few inches to your length to account for some drape at each end of the table, because that slight overhang is what makes it look finished and intentional. If you want to elevate it even further, add a simple fringe to each end. Cut pieces of yarn about 4 inches long, fold them in half, and pull them through the end stitches with a crochet hook. Trim them to be even when you're done. It takes maybe 10 minutes, and it completely transforms the whole look. Now, here's something most people don't think to crochet, and that's a plant pot cover. If you have any kind of houseplants or even fake ones, a crochet pot cover is one of the easiest and most impactful things you can add to your space, and you can make one in less than 2 hours. You're basically making a tall basket without a bottom or with just a small flat base. Work in the round, increase for the base, then work straight up the sides until it's tall enough to cover whatever pot you're using. Use a mesh stitch or a simple open network stitch for something light and airy, which looks beautiful with plants because it still lets you see the greenery through the gaps. If you want it to look more solid and structured, work in continuous rounds of single crochet and use a stiff cotton yarn. When it's done, stiffen it slightly with a light spray of liquid starch. It dries firm and holds its cylindrical shape perfectly. The colors you choose here really matter. Terracotta, sage green, dusty pink, and warm cream are all trending right now in home decor, and they pair perfectly with almost any plant. If your walls are neutral, go bold with the pot cover color. If your walls already have a lot going on, a simple off-white or natural cotton color will look clean and intentional. Let me show you something slightly more ambitious now, and that's a crochet cushion cover. A crochet cushion cover is one of those projects that immediately levels up how a room looks. You can make one in a weekend, and the end result genuinely looks like something you'd pay a lot of money for in a home goods store. For a standard cushion cover, you're making 2 flat rectangular panels in the same stitch pattern, then seaming them together on 3 sides, inserting your cushion pad and either seaming the last side shut or adding some buttons or a simple flap closure. For the stitch pattern, the diamond stitch or the bobble stitch are both absolutely stunning on cushions. The bobble stitch in particular creates these raised little pom-pom-like textures all over the surface that look incredible and feel really satisfying to touch. To make a bobble, you're just making several incomplete double crochets into the same stitch and then pulling through all the loops at once. That's it, and the result looks so much more complicated than it actually is. Work your 2 panels, block them before seaming, which just means dampening them, laying them flat in shape, and letting them dry, and then join them with a neat slip stitch seam. Blocking is one of those steps.